Right, we've got the lead hooked up, so we'll do resistance. Let's start 0, shall we? Pair it up. Also range it. This doesn't look right. Why does this not look right? Now it's saying 0. Nah, something's not right. What have I forgotten? I must have got a wire missed off or wrong somewhere. Any ideas? Damn it. It's worse than when I started. Okay, figured out. This switch here is a 3-position switch for display, and it was obviously in save mode for me. I'll put the front panel back on again. So I'll put it back to normal mode. We'll do like a clear and test thing there, and back to normal. So that should now be right. Now I've got this set, still hooked up at 0 ohms. So let's give it another go. Now we know what happened there. So let's start with a low range. Let's do 100 ohms. Yeah, okay. About 200 ohms, it's a bit low. 300 ohms. Wasn't this range looking okay before? Has the problem moved? That's 200 ohm range there. That's out by a bit. If I get to change ranges, it's 500 ohms. I'm not getting 500 ohms. Definitely got everything else down. Yep, okay. That has changed. Isn't that interesting? I wasn't expecting that to have changed. Did 100 ohms, that's out. That's out by exactly the same amount that the 1K range was out by. Interestingly. Okay, let's do 1K range. It's 1K. Oh, a minute. Should I be doing 10 ohms? So 40 ohms is like 3 ohms out there. 90 ohms is doing 83. That's all shifted. Those were more accurate than that before. And the 1K is below 1K. I'll do 1.5K. 1.26. Give the knob a little wiggle. The knob's behaving a lot better. That's not playing up now. That's good. I think I'll fix that problem at least. But the reading's completely wrong. The 1.9K, get 1.5. If we go to 2.9K, I'm getting 2.9 in that range. So that's correct. So 2K on that range there. That's right. If I downrange, get 1.56. Hasn't improved it. Well, not much. It has changed, but hasn't improved it much. Okay, so we've got this currently set to 999K. My other set box is set at 0. So let's go up by a meg. That's rearranged to 2 meg. So let's drop these down. Let's go by 1 meg at a time with this box here instead. Say 1 meg. We've got these on. 1.1, 1.2. It should be fine. 1.7 ish. This isn't a great box. Trying to get to the threshold where it jumps over to 2. There you go, changed over there. And that's reading okay. Let's put these back down again. 0 of those. 2.8. Not reading correctly. So this is using, I think the relay I swapped out, I think it's using that one now. Because that isn't reading any more than 1 megohm. Interestingly, it states a 50 megohm range. I don't completely trust this box though. The megohm range is playing up. See that? So that's the one I swapped out. So maybe there's 2 relays that are bad. Maybe the one I put in is also not good. So I'm going to test these relays. Now there's 3 relays, well sorry, 4 relays here, which I'm going to test. I've got these 2 larger ones here in the cream packages, and they've got these dip ones. Right, now these ones here I've already swapped over thinking these were the fault, and they weren't. Okay, I swapped those and it didn't change it. So I think that the problem is going to be one of these other ones instead. I'm pretty sure it's this one here, which is K320. That's the one I believe is actually the bad one. So if I probe around here, we should be able to prove that or not. So let's just make sure we can actually see what I'm talking about. So there you go, there's the 2 read relays, those black ones, which I've swapped over already. And it's that one there, and that one there, which I want to test. Especially, I want to test all of them, just to prove them. I'll use a magnet rather than power them. I'll use magnetism, you know, a couple of neodymium magnets here. I'll chuck those on, and we'll test them out. I believe that it's these two outer legs here on this side are the ones which are the actual read. So just chuck them in there. So I may get some resistance across things because there's resistors across these and these short resistors out. So I don't know about resistances showing up. What I'm looking for is for it to go 0 ohms. Okay, now I won't get exactly 0 ohms because I've got, I don't know, about 0.4, 0.5 ohms resistance in these leads. So something close to it. So let's have a look. Just do it on the back of the board because I can get close. There you go. 0 ohms. So that one's switching. And if I just do it this side as well, there you go. Should be fairly consistent. Alright, so yeah, that one's working. Let's check this one. This one I thought it was before when I was doing those other substitutions. That one seems fine. Okay, so we'll try this one. There you go, 0.04. There we go, it's a bit easier. Yeah, that's switching okay, that one. That's pretty consistent, at least when I'm getting it to switch, it's switching right. So let's check this last one. Now this is what I'm thinking about right now, because this one here and that one there switch in conjunction with each other. And this one does the ohms range. And this one does the low k ohms range. And a couple of other ones as well. I think it does high k ohms as well. So now I'm thinking, well, I was thinking it's this one, but actually now I'm thinking it's this one here. Because originally I thought the ohms range is working okay. But actually now I'm not so sure it is. So let's shove this in here, because it does seem to be slightly out. And I was thinking it's being out because it's just a calibration issue, but now I'm thinking actually maybe it's out because it's got a bad relay. Look at that. 0.7k. 0.7, that sounds very familiar. That's about how much it's out by. And it's changing depending on where we put the magnet. Yeah, that's the one that's knackered. That one there. That read relay. Narrowed it down. Excellent. So I need to try and get some of these reads. I don't think I've got any. I used to have some years ago. I just don't know where they are now. Might have poked around and see if I've got something I can pull one from. Okay, so there's the read that passes through it. You see the little glass thing on there? And it passes right through. It's just got a hollow in the centre of that coil. Because it's a big, all it is a coil. And so it creates magnetism when it turns on, and that then activates the read. That read you can replace, you can get those out and change them. If you can get another one which fits. That's the tricky part. I think, well, I know I had some. I don't know if I've got any now though. Well, I found one. It's old, it's used, but it measures okay. It's about the right size. So I think I will clean this up a little bit and swap those out and see if they fix the problem. It probably will. Right, so I've desoldered the wires, I've started sliding it out. So you can see I'm sliding the original one out. There we go. There's the original, and there's the replacement. Bit of IPA on this, still clean this one up a little bit, it's still a bit dirty. Needs to be clean, otherwise it might not slide in all the way properly. Housing needs to be good. Right, so there we go. Right, slide that in there. I really am hoping that this will fix the problem. Bend the pin there. This one's a bit of a looser fit, but that's fine. I'll just tack that in there. I'll probably put some kind of adhesive or something to hold it in place. Anyway, let's get some silver solder. Have to use the good stuff. Nope, slipping. Of course it is. Now I've got to get this wire here back on there. And it was wrapped, but because it's got solder all over it, I'm not quite sure I can slide it back on again. So just put some fresh stuff on here. We have to solder it on, hope for the best. Wrapped would definitely be better, but that's not going to work today. Okay. Well, that's on. Let's just measure it with the multimeter. Stick the magnet by it and see what happens. See if it looks right this time. Magnet near it. Getting 1 ohm there. Is that my probing? Don't know. Maybe this reed switch isn't perfect. So I'm getting 1 ohm there. If I probe straight across, I'm getting 3 on those ones. That's no good, is it? 1 ohm there. Oh, maybe it's alright. We'll see what the readings come out like. But if I can, I'll get some new ones of these. I'll get a few of them in stock, and I might replace it again, because it is fairly easy to get apart to get to this particular piece. It's not that hard. Anyway, let's power this thing up and see what happens. See if we can actually get some sensible readings out of it. Okay, I'm going to do it outside the case, so everything is still plugged in. Just double checking. I should really plug the power cable in too, that will help too. What do you reckon? Plug the power cable in. Now I'll turn it on. Right, there we go. So, stick it on auto ranging. It was on manual range, so we'll go to auto. Currently set 0 resistance, we're getting 0.3. That's probably fine because of the leads. Let's go 100 ohms. Oh, look at that. Oh, sorry, 1K, sorry. 0.995. Still slightly out. 2K, 199. Well, it's definitely a lot closer than it was. 3K. I haven't got any other one up, have I? No, they're all down. 3K, yep. 4, 5. Yeah, that's all looking good. So let's go 10K. Yeah, close. 100K. Yep, I don't know what the accuracy is of this. This might be slightly out. I really should make a reference of that actually, make a note of it. 100 ohms. This range was out, which is that relay I just changed. Right, the 100 ohm, the ohms relay is one I just replaced. This is giving me 91 before, and I'm getting exactly 100. Well, pretty much exactly 100. Let's go 10 ohms. Yep. And we'll do 1 ohm. Yep, that's 1 ohm up. That seems like it's working. So I should be able to go up. That's just rearranged. 300 ohms, 200 ohms. Go range down, range back up again to try and get 200. Yep, that's pretty much there. Then it'll range up and I'll do that one, 300. Right, that's actually looking like it's fixed. 1K, but it's slightly out. But it could be the resistor itself which is slightly out. That one's looking pretty close there. Right, so if I get my multimeter here and I plug into this instead, we'll see what this gives us, shall we? So 100 ohms, 1K, sorry, get 998. So this is slightly different. So it's sitting a bit low. 199, we've got the other one. We've got 199 there as well. So okay, and 305, that also matches. So that's good. And 100 ohms, yep, 100.1, and 10 ohms. 10, yeah, okay, this is off. As last as it can go anyway. Ks, 10K, yeah, 997, and 100K, 100.6, 100.5. Okay, so this meter's not perfect, it's pretty close, but it's not 100%. Alright, it's not bad. It's not like a proper high reference, like bench meter. 100.5, and that one, which agreed with what my EP blog meter said. Yeah, pretty much bang on 10, which is what that one said. 5. So that's a couple of ohms low, or maybe a couple of ohms high. I'm not quite sure which way you would want to look at that. I might have to try another meter actually. 100.1, yeah. So these are looking right now. These are looking pretty damn close. 10.33 ohms, and obviously the 1 ohm there. I'll plug this into my Siglent 6.5 digit meter and we'll see what that thinks of it. Okay, so I'm going to the Siglent now, as you can see. This is with all the controls at 0. Let's do 100K. 1.6, so that's a very slight difference there. 0.1. This 10K. 9.99, very close again. 1K, 998. Okay, so this Tektronix is out by 3 ohms. That's okay, it's probably calibratable. So this actually agrees with the UV log meter, which is good. Let's do 100 ohms. Yep. 1 ohms, oh sorry, 10 ohms. 9.98. Yeah, so this one's a little bit different. So I think this Tektronix does need calibrating. This is 1 ohms now. No worries. Back to 0 again. So yeah, the Tektronix needs calibrating, but it's not far off. It's actually working now. So I think I'm gonna put it back in the casing. Yay! I think that's the only thing which wasn't working properly actually, was just that one thing. Okay, so I've got some of it back together. Back panel still off, power supply still hanging out, stuff like that. So it's going to show the resistance, show it's actually working with its back together. It still has more faults. There's not the only fault that's present. The other ones I found are that the DC voltage doesn't work. Haven't tried AC voltage yet. If DC voltage doesn't work, then there's a good chance that AC voltage doesn't work either. Anyway, let's just show this. So I'm doing 1 kilo ohm right now. 2 kilo ohm, thereabouts. It's 10 ohms, 1 ohm, 10k, and 100k. Yep. I mean, the resistance is definitely working now, so that's that one fixed. Resistance is fixed. But DC volts doesn't work. Can't win, can I? Just can't win. So if I get this, go DC volts, plug this in my power supply instead. Power supply set for 1.9 volts right now, which is like a test voltage you're supposed to be doing. 1.9 volts, nothing. Turn the knob around, doesn't really do anything. It's not like there's a dirty connection on that, I've already done all that stuff. So if I go to, I don't know, let's go 11 volts, nothing. 21 volts, nothing. Right, so it doesn't work on DC volts. Now I'm pretty sure I did do testing on this before, and I'm pretty sure I saw voltages. So I'm a bit confused by that. I thought it worked. Unless I'm remembering something wrong, I don't know. Yeah, so I'll need to look into this some more and figure out what's going on there, but right now DC voltage doesn't work, but the resistance does now, so it's a step in the right direction at least. Alright, so I figured out what was going on with this 851, where I did the repair to the resistance ranges, got that to work by replacing that reed relay, although I still don't 100% trust it because it is a used one. It's pretty old already. It's fixed it, but I'm going to replace it with a new one once I get some new ones arriving. Once they arrive, I'll swap it out and change it again. It's not a big deal. It's easy to get to. I had the issue with voltage not reading after that, and a couple of other problems, which I've then found. And what it was, I'd made a mistake. Simple mistake. When I'd reassembled all this switch, when I pulled the switch assembly apart as part of the original repair to clean all the switch up because it's dirty, there's a little link just here, right there. See a little wire link just there? I had forgotten to put that on. Right, so not only had I forgotten to put that on, I thought, well, okay, I'm not 100% sure I got the switch right. And the two switch sections which affect the DC voltage section of the unit, AC voltage, DC voltage, they wouldn't read. The line voltage would read, but AC and DC voltage wouldn't, as well as some of the other functions like the duty cycle, things like that. They shared one switch section, which happens to be on the top here, not on the bottom, in the top section. So I pulled all this apart again and just checked those wafers to make sure that I got the contacts good, because there's 3 sets of contacts in this top section here, and I wasn't 100% sure I got them right. So I pulled them apart, put them on my desk, and thought, I should have made sure which one came out of where, so I know if I got it right or not when I put it back together the first time. Anyway, so I've reassembled it, knowing that this section here is definitely put back together the correct way. And I put it back together, put that link back on again, which is actually how I found that link, so I was going to pull the switch apart, and now the voltage range works. If I power this up, that's currently set to resistance. I've been doing calibrations on AC volts there, that's DC volts there. So let's grab this PDVS2 Mini. Got it in a bag to try and keep humidity away from it. Just like to try and do that if you can. Well, you should do black to black, shouldn't I? Because it matters. Obviously it's not going to be 100% accurate because I've only just turned it on, but that's alright. Doesn't have to be 100% accurate because the resolution of the PDVS2 Mini is far greater than what this thing can show anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. Right, so it's 0 volts, we're on DC volts here, for the 1 volt. 1 volt. So now I've actually noticed that I've done a calibration on the voltage on this thing, and it's not dead linear on here. If I go up through the ranges, so I've calibrated it there, right, that's bang on, right. What's on manual range, auto range it. Alright, so 2 volts is basically bang on 2 volts, right. 3 volts is, but when I did that first range I noticed that but less than 1 volt, or less than 2 volts rather, it wasn't dead linear. It's not this which is wrong, I know this is definitely right, this isn't right linear, because it's sort of, as it increases in voltage, do it this way, as it increases in voltage the reading increases slightly. As it gets to the top of the voltage it comes back down again. I'll demonstrate that in a second. Also going up to 10 volts on this particular unit. Right, but that's working right. So as you can see, it's working up to 10 volts with pretty good accuracy. 4 millivolts difference. And if I go down to, if I do 100 millivolt steps, see, bang on, bang on. Right, so it's pretty good. Now you can see it's creeping up a little bit there. Right, 400, start to creep up. Again, it's not this, it's the multimeter which is doing that. See, it's 2 millivolts over now. Oh, sorry, 200 microvolts over. 300 microvolts over. 300 over. 300 over. 300 over still. There you go, starting to go to 400 over. Then as you get close to the set point, it comes back down again. So it's calibrated 1.9 volts. Although I should probably recheck that because it's changed, but you see it's come back down to 200 microvolts over now. I just set it for 1999 on here and calibrate to that, so there you go, 1.900, it's 100 microvolts over there. And if I keep going up to full range it, I just did 1.9 for full ranging. I don't know why I did that, but I can do much better precision than that. So there you go, 19900. So there, it's calibrated perfectly, right? So at the very bottom end of the range, it's perfect. At the very top end of the range, it's perfect. But the middle, it humps up slightly in grains. So it's a bit of a trade-off really between, which accuracy do you want. So anyway, it works. The voltage now works. The resistance now works. Let's just shut this back off again. We go to resistance. So I've got my resistance substitution box here. Again, this isn't a perfect calibration. It's just a substitution box, so it doesn't actually give you true readings. Go back down to resistance. See that next LED up there is on. And let's do 10 ohms. Yep. But you can see I'm getting that 280 milliohms here. I cannot seem to get rid of that. I can't get it to actually 0. I don't know if there's a way of doing it. I need to try and figure this out, but I've done the calibration on the resistance ranges and it doesn't 0. There's no 0 setting, so it's a bit odd. I can't get that to be perfect. 100 ohms. This is about 100.1, I think it is, something like that, so it's right. 1K. That should be 998. So it's out by a few ohms there. 10K. It's a bit of a balance. So your calibration point is 10K, that's where you calibrate it, and that is calibrated correctly right now. Okay, that is right. This is what this thing actually is. So the 10K calibration is correct. The bottom end calibration is correct. Again, the bit in the middle humps up a little bit and is slightly out. So yeah, you can actually see this has also changed a little bit. Whether that's these switches, I'm not sure. Did play with those before. Didn't really seem to make much of a difference. It could be switch contacts, or it could even be the relays. I did have problems with these relays, or a particular relay, which is the one which is currently switching. So it's changing value. So I don't trust this relay I put in. I'm going to change this to a new one. Maybe that resistance is because I've got a bad relay. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, it's better than than what it was. Certainly, I mean, the 1 ohm resistance as well shows up. And did I do 100k? I don't think I did. Yeah, 100k, 100.6, which is correct. Right, so those functions are working. And if I do other functions, like as the duty cycle and the threshold, stuff like that on this section here, using the test point, which is right here, those will work. So I actually think it's working properly now. I think it's basically fixed. So how I narrowed down that the switch or something was wrong in this switch section for this DC voltage reason to not, for it not be working. I believe before it was working, and I think it must have been, was that when I found those common switch elements in there, one of these positions gives a AC voltage. There we go. That's the line voltage right here. Right, 238 volts is what I'm feeding you right now. So it could read that. And the difference between that and the manual voltage selections, there wasn't much difference. There's only a couple of switches involved. So the fact it could read that voltage means that I knew that there must be a switch problem here. Because, you know, the actual paths are working, the actual analog to digital converter is working, the actual sensing is working, because otherwise it wouldn't be able to read that voltage. So I knew it had to be before that point, and there's only a couple of little bits there. So AC and DC voltage both didn't work, and AC voltage uses the AC DC converter as it does on the line mode. So I knew the AC DC converter was working because the line voltage could be read. That was working correctly, which narrowed it down to basically 2 switches. And by looking at that in more detail, I could actually figure out there's just 1 switch that was involved, and that's what I've pulled this apart to look at. Anyway, see, it's all working now, so I'm happy with that. Okay, so now I've got the electronics side seemingly sorted out. Another little thing which has been bugging me is this power switch. Right, so when you have the front panel all assembled and the top piece on there and everything, with this panel here on the top, there's a little power button that goes through this hole, which I'll try and show you. Sits through there. When you push it down, it doesn't actually latch off. It was always on. It couldn't turn anything off. So on this switch, out is on, in is off. So what it's got inside the casing is this interesting little lever mechanism just here. So there's a little bar that sits in the front. It goes up and down like this through the front panel. So the front panel sits on the top like this, and it's just a little lever. So it's this little paddle there. The little paddle pushes out, and that paddle pushes against the switch. So you think, oh, okay, that's all right. But well, because this case has had seen better time, then it's a bit broken and it's been patched together somewhat, and as you can see, I've got bits glued together here to hold this together. It doesn't quite close up quite right. It's only about 1 millimetre or so in it. So what I did is I made this little switch cap here. I just 3D printed this. I just did this in Tinkercad and then ran it through Slicer. So you can see it's like a square shaft which fits the shaft on the switch, which is a 3.3 millimetre square shaft, as I measured it at least. So I made a 9 millimetre diameter tube, basically with a square shaft in its middle. I put these slots across it as well, 0.5 mil slots, so it can grab, but also gives some flexibility there. So if there's any slight variations in size, it will just open up slightly to grab it. It's only got to sit on there anyway. And I made it, originally it was 10 millimeters long, but in this case I was just guessing at the time, but now I've actually had a bit of a closer look and actually it's too long. So what I've got is I've cut the end piece here off. I'll cut the end off it. It was that way around like that. Anyway, so that's the end I did have. I've cut that off with a pair of cutters and made it a bit shorter. Alright, so there's now literally a couple of millimeters extra length on that shaft, and it's using this whole cap here as a actuator for the cam. Alright, so square on there into the square shaft, get it lined up, and we'll just push it on. There we go, that's it. Okay, so just a simple little thing. You could have put any kind of thing in there as a spacer really, but I wanted to do something a bit nicer, like that. So now that pushes onto the housing quite nicely. Let me try and demonstrate that. Okay, there you go, I've got the housings put together, and then you can see the switch down the corner there, the little cap on it, and there's the lever. You can see there's actually a bit of a gap there still, so I could actually left a little bit more on there. So when the lever's pulled fully up, there's a gap, so I know it's definitely not too long. As I push it down, you can now actually latch the switch, so it now latches on, see? So that'll now work correctly. Not much of a modification, it's just, you know, it's very minor. Okay, Now if you actually look at, you can see the little lever there just working at the very back, right there. You can see that working. So when I was pushing it down before to try and turn it off, it sort of pushed to there and then come back. It never fully latched. You get about that far and come back, so it always stayed on. Alright, so the distance I needed extra was about there, that much distance there, in order to get to that latching. It's only just enough now. I've only kept it just long enough, that's all I've gone for. But it's still a huge amount better because now it's actually going to work, whereas before it wouldn't. Yes, that's the beauty of having a 3D printer on hand. You can do little things like that and just make these little tweaks and fix these little aging problems bits of gear can have sometimes. I can put this thing back together now, I suppose. Actually, no, I'm not going to put it back together completely because I'm doing a live stream tomorrow. If you haven't seen my live streams before, make sure you check out. I do them usually on 8 AM on a Sunday morning, New Zealand time. So where you are in the world, that will depend. Where, you know, in the UK, it's sort of like 9 o'clock at night, that sort of thing, on a Saturday. Give you some idea. In the US, I'm not quite sure what it is, about lunchtime or something on a Saturday, is it? I'm really not sure. I'm going to be doing a live stream with this thing tomorrow and just putting it back together and just running through its paces and stuff like that. So I'm not going to completely put it back together. I'm going to explain what I found and what I fixed before, because I was doing this on the live stream, the previous one I did, and I had a fault which I was working on, and now it's all fixed. So I'm going to demonstrate this thing, so I'm going to put it together completely. So I'm going to call it fixed anyway, because it is basically working. So make sure you subscribe, click the bell icon, all that sort of thing. And if you like the video, please share it. If you know anyone that's interested in these bits of older gear, which are still good bits of gear, they're just old. You know, share the video around. You know, check on Twitter or whatever. And Reddit. I've got a Reddit page too. And if you're interested in my merch, I've got some merch. I've got a few things. I've got shirts and cups and sweatshirts and, you know, that sort of stuff. Bits and pieces. So check out my links down below. If you need to buy anything from Banggood or AliExpress, mostly Banggood if you can, use my links down below to go to Banggood and purchase items through there, because it helps to support the channel, because I get a commission for anything purchased from Banggood using my link. It means I can buy more things from mailbags and that sort of stuff. Helps me out, helps me to produce more content. And thank you very much to my Patreon supporters, or anyone that's donated to me through PayPal as well. That also helps. I've got currently 13 supporters, I think it is, and I appreciate every single one of them, because they're all, you know, taking a bit of extra special effort to help me to produce content, which is brilliant. Thank you very much, people. And if you want to support me as well through Patreon, please check out the links down below as well. And check out my links for other videos at the end of this video. I've got a playlist that will pop up. You know, click on my nose, watch some more stuff. I've got heaps and heaps of videos. I've got over 650 videos at the time I've recorded this one. Yeah, although, yeah, some aren't around anymore, but that's something I've made. I think I've got something like 620 online right now, or something like that anyway. Loads and loads of repair videos and reviews and that sort of stuff, so go and check one out. Even got some 3D printing ones. Thanks a lot, catch you later, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for dropping by. Bye.